start streaming. Oh yeah. Hi everyone, welcome to The Last Drop. I am Chris. Welcome to another live Sunday night. Isn't this lovely? Let's bring everyone in. Ta-da! Right, we've got Newdramdrinker, we've got Toby Field, the Whisky Shared channel, Matt from Caskmate, who's bottling out of YouTube for some reason, and Andrew from PrestigeliquidsWW. How you all doing, everyone?
Yeah, good thing.
What is so funny?
How's it going? How are you, everybody?
Hi, everyone.
How you doing, Mark? Mark Slinger's in the house.
Mark Slinger.
Yeah.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Yeah. Party sauce.
Party sauce. Always good to see them guys.
I've just got to say, Toby, mate, you've got no idea what you're getting in for.
That's right. I know where the power button is, so I can leave at any time.
Yeah. So we got Toby, who's new to the group.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Welcome, Toby. Welcome to the Whisky Team.
The A team, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was hoping that you would take Andrew's place, but obviously there's room for him as well.
Yeah, didn't we all?
Funny.
Oh, sorry. Alan wasn't available, so I'm sorry. I had to fill in.
No, Alan's available. But he just said he'll come and support us in the chat. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's the theme then, Chris?
Sorry.
What's the theme then?
Theme tonight is infinity bottles. So I don't have one, but I believe all you guys do. So I think it's going to be a persuasion on why you've got an infinity bottle, and
Or two.
whether I should do one.
I suppose the first question I'd ask you, Chris, is why haven't you done one?
Just because I drink all my whiskey.
Fair comments.
You just don't want to leave enough to add into another bottle.
No, yeah. I just well, I think I was speaking to Toby briefly about it, and I think he adds. He pours out before he drinks it all, so
Yeah,
maybe
Yeah,
my
see-
problem.
Originally, the idea was to, have a bottle that you put the dregs of each bottle you finish into.
Yeah,
But the problem is I've got enough bottles that never seem to empty. So I thought if I didn't start an infinity bottle when I opened the bottle,
Yeah.
I would never have an infinity bottle to try.
yeah.
But I do have some rules around my infinity bottle. Do each of you have different rules that you sort of stick to, or is it you just make it up as you go along?
As soon as we open
Depends.
the bottle, we tend to put the first dram in, just because that makes us remember to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of what I do. I'm not always a stickler to that, but I do try to remember to do that.
Yeah.
I think the only kind of rule that I was given when I first started was not to mix peat.
Right, so I've got some peated in mine, but a very small amount.
Yeah,
Same
I
as
put
us.
an Ardbeg in. I think there was 50 different whiskies that went into mine when it was actually filled up. And there was only one Ardbeg that went into it. And it added quite a nice little, just a touch on the end that was quite nice. But it didn't overpower it, because people had told me that if I put too many in, they would overpower everything else.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I started a second bottle, which is just
Yeah.
for peated,
Yeah,
because I thought, I didn't want to sort of destroy a good whiskey
yeah.
with too much peat. So
You don't want it to taste like just one whiskey, do you? You want
No.
it to taste like a mixture of different ones.
Yeah. I think we'll do two next time.
Yeah.
A peated
Yeah.
and everything else.
Definitely.
It
So how
obviously
long-
doesn't have a whole lot. You can experiment so much more.
yeah.
yeah, and obviously you don't even need a special bottle. You can just use an empty bottle that you've already got.
Yeah.
So
So, guys, what do you do with your infinity bottles once they're full? Do you fill it and share it, or fill it and keep
Yeah.
it?
so mine I only share, so it's
Yeah.
not for me to drink by myself.
Got you.
Because I want other people to experience how good or bad it is at the time.
Yeah.
Was it nice? Did you like your Infinity?
Yeah, I
bottle?
did. Yeah, I've drunk out of it 3 times, and each time it's been quite good. But I'm sure there will come a day when it doesn't taste as nice.
We were so
It's working out. Yeah, it's working out what to replace it with to get that flavour that you want.
Isn't it?
Yeah. We were so surprised with how nice our Infinity bottle was, because you have no control over it, do you? So when we actually liked it, we were like, yay!
Mainly famous grouse, if I remember.
There was a few in there, but you got to remember we're at the start of our journey, so they were kind of our supermarket boys.
I done a test the other night. Teaspoon of rum, and then topped up with famous grouse. It was really nice.
There you go.
Really good.
So, have any of you learnt anything from doing your Infinity bottles that you wouldn't kind of redo?
There's nothing I wouldn't do again. It's all part of the experimentation, but I think
you can put White Walker
probably
in there then.
Yeah, there's some White Walker in there.
Oh, really?
There is White Walker in there. But the key is, I think, to sort of limit yourself and don't put too much of each whiskey in there unless you're really trying to get rid of it.
Yeah. So what do you put in yours, guys? 25ml, 50ml?
Yeah, either 25 or 50 goes in mine, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
The expensive stuff I tend to put less of.
I know for mine, I've just been pre-pouring.
So how many are in yours, Andrew?
How many?
How many have gone into yours so far?
Good question. I haven't actually counted. That's why I've been writing it down. I'm scared to try it actually, because this is the first time I've actually poured. I mean, I've only filled up half a bottle, and this is the first time I'm actually trying it. I've gotten it to a point where I'm happy with the nose, but I'm sure as a lot of you who have done Infinity bottles would be aware already that just because it smells good doesn't mean it's going to taste good. So,
are you going to try it?
I started off with the Nerdura, so the Glenlivet Nerdura Oloroso. That was the one that I started off with in there, and then I've started building it up. But at the moment, just like I said, I've got the Nerdura, the Lefroy Select Cask, Lefroy 10-year-old, the Bunnahabhain 12, Kilkerran 12, Lochnamun 12, the Glenmorangie Bacalta, and the Macallan 12 double cask. That's what's in there at the moment.
Sounds great.
You trying it tonight for us, Andrew?
I am, yes.
You're going to do it now?
I will be.
Do it, do it, do
it.
Chug, 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 chug.
Come on, Andrew. Well, just nose it for us. Tell us what it's like on the nose.
I'll say at the moment, it's very sweet. It's obviously peated. Lots of honey, vanilla. I'm quite surprised that so far the Nerdura has actually held up quite well. I mean, I do have the Lefroy Select and the 10-year-old in there as well, so it does have a bit of that Lefroy medicinal note going on as well. Ocean breeze, seaweed. There's quite a bit going on.
Does it nose how you would have expected it to have nosed, knowing what's in it?
Look, I've been nosing it from the bottle every now and then just to see how it's going, so I'm already quite familiar, like with the nose on it. But I do come back to it every now and then, more so just to see if it's changed at all after things have kind of like properly blended together. Because I mean, obviously you can pour things straight into it and you'll get a certain note from it, but then once everything just blends together, well then you'll start to get the proper notes from it.
Yeah. So from what you see, you got half a bottle so far, did you say?
Half a bottle at the moment from a 700ml bottle.
I'll be right back, guys.
Would you stick to the same kind of whiskies just to fill the bottle up? Or?
No, not really. Because at the only rule that I've kept with this particular one, it's the only Infinity bottle that I've started so far. I will be doing a bourbon one next. But the only rule that I've kept is that this one is just for Scotch.
Yeah.
And I am not adding any more peated whiskey into it. At the moment, I'm happy with the peat notes that are in it. So it will pretty much be topped up with sherry or bourbon cask now. And preferably unpeated whiskies.
What was that? I can't read that, Chris.
Yeah, I can't read that. It's too bright.
Other way.
Mate, you're not even in the camera.
This way. Other way. Can't read it.
Mate, flip your screen upside down.
He's sending alternative messages here. So, Matt, what's yours like?
I love Egghead.
Sorry.
What's your infinity bottle consist of?
Well, the one I'm having right now is all malt. It's everything from peated to sherry to Space Ice to whatever I have. So it's all Scotch. So it's basically a blended Scotch. But I wanted to, restrict it to or limit it to Scotch whiskey, just to stay within sort of the same vein or characteristics of whiskeys in order to hopefully create something very nice. But to be honest, well, it tastes like a whiskey. I think I have about 25 whiskeys in this one up until this point, and I feel like, having done a couple of infinity bottles, I'm going to do one tonight as well. I think that, you reach a certain point where whiskeys, they just start to mute out each other in a way. Yeah. Unless you put in, this one could be a very nice budget single malt or blended Scotch, you could pick up from the shelf. There's nothing magical about it. But if you added, like, I don't know, 5 centiliters of Ardbeg 10 or something to it, it would all of a sudden become something else. So this in and of itself has sort of become a base, in a way. That's why I'm going to start the all sherry whiskey infinity bottle tonight. I also have an all peated one, and I think the ones that stay very narrowly within the same characteristics often tend to have a more cohesive flavor. I don't know if I'm the only one thinking that.
No, I'd agree. Some people in the comments are saying they've got rum infinity bottles as well. They've got a whiskey one and a rum one.
That's nice.
Oh, cool.
That's cool. Never even thought about that. I do like a rum. Would anyone recommend a good rum to get started with?
I'm going to add the first one now.
This is your new infinity bottle, Matt?
Yeah, it's the all sherry one.
All sherry.
So have any of you actually started a bourbon infinity bottle at all?
No,
And if you
kept mine separate.
I don't have enough bourbons to do that.
Yeah, I've not kept mine separate. I put bourbon in with everything.
With everything.
Yeah, so my main infinity bottle smells of bourbon, but doesn't taste of it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I've got it. Just tastes like a sort of just a blended Scotch, but it's got Irish in there. It's got Scotch. It's got Swedish whiskey. It's got bourbon.
Right.
It's a bit of everything, but yeah, it does taste more like Scotch.
Yeah.
So would you say that it has more of like a? I mean, you're saying that you do have bourbon in there as well, and that's what you get mostly on the nose.
Yeah.
Would you say that when you're drinking it, it does come across as more of like a bourbon cask finished whiskey? Or Scotch?
Yeah, definitely. No, it's on the nose in the glass. It doesn't taste. Sorry, it doesn't smell anything other than bourbon. Right. It's got the really strong sort of brown sugar, sort of vanilla sweetness, but yeah, on the palate you don't pick up any of that.
Right.
So it's really strange.
Yeah.
It is sweet, but it doesn't have that bourbon sweetness.
Right. Okay. Cool. Cool. So what would you do if you were going to do a infinity bottle, Chris?
I would be looking at doing. I'd want to mix both peat and sherry, because I had that Gunnar Harbin 11-year-old PX finish, and that was smoky and sherry bombed max, and yeah, I'd want to repeat that, to be honest.
Right.
Try and get that marriage of peat, smoke, and sherry bomb at the same time. I think that would be a goal.
Going to be. Well, you're going to have to really keep your eye on that as you do it, aren't you?
Well, you need to find. I mean, it's quite easy to find the peated bombs. You know the peat monsters.
Yeah.
That's quite easy to find, isn't it? You get Lafroigs, Rabegs, your Lagavulins, everything. Finding the sherry bombs a bit more difficult.
Yeah. What percentage?
Maybe I was going to say maybe you should just try pouring 10 ml of an Ardbeg 10 into a full bottle of Glendronach 12.
Yeah. Well, that's probably what I'll probably end up doing. But
I was going to say, what kind of percentage do you think would have to be peaty whiskey compared to sherry to keep the sherryness, so you don't lose it?
I mean, the guys in the chat. I mean, Mark Slinger and Gregoire. Yeah, they're suggesting samples there. Ben Romack peat smoke and the Glen Moray peated PX finish. Yeah, I've seen both of them around. So I mean, but yeah, to get it, to blend it yourself and create it yourself, I think that'd be a good little thing, you know.
Toby, do you name your infinity bottle when you're giving it to friends and gifting it?
Calls it Little Toby.
Toby,
actually, I can't say I've gifted before, but I have made pins and given them to people. But no, I don't give them names.
No,
maybe that's an idea.
Yeah, I got mine. I mean, we did. I can't see whether you can see that, but
helps if you hold it out from the camera.
That's my infinity bottle. I can't see my own picture, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, I can see it now.
What I'm doing.
Yeah, it's in the right place.
Can you see that? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was that infinity bottle, and then I
Right.
put it down into littler bottles to give to people as
I hadn't
gifts.
thought of that. That's quite a good idea.
It's 50.1 because there's 50 whiskies in there, and this is our first infinity bottle.
Yeah. So.
Yes. Well, one thing I do is I keep a spreadsheet. I'm quite a geeky. I keep a spreadsheet of everything that goes in and how much, so I can tell you exactly the ABV of what's in both of my infinity bottles.
Yeah.
And I can tell you what percentage of what whiskey's in them at any one time.
Yeah.
So this one's got 24 whiskies in at the minute.
Right.
So it's a bit geeky. Maybe it's a bit over the top, but I quite like that control.
No, that's exactly what we did. Exactly what we did.
Does anybody decant some of their infinity bottle into a little bottle and then hide it away for 10 years? We've heard that's a thing to do as well.
No, but maybe I will now.
We've heard
that's what we were told at the start when before we started doing ours, what were some of the things to do, and someone recommended doing that, just to put some into a bottle, put it away, and just hold on to it for a set amount of years
or whatever.
So that's what we've done. Just one of these bottles we've put away just to see how it changes over the years.
Yeah, see, one of my sort of self-imposed rules is to not let it go below halfway. So if I'm sharing it, once it gets to halfway, I stop. And once it gets to halfway, I then won't drink it again till it's full.
Okay.
Get back up to full.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're planning on drinking ours to the bottom and then starting a new one.
No,
so
we were going
to
keep 25 ml of the infinity bottle that we've got and use that as the first one of our next one.
So you end up with 100 to 1 in the end.
Absolutely.
That's it. Yeah, just to keep it rolling.
Solera principle, isn't it? I mean, that's what you're going down to.
Good though, isn't it? There's no hard and fast rules, is there?
Absolutely not. It's all for fun.
It's good.
How many people we got in the chat now, Chris?
No idea. We've got Ebs in.
There's 12 watching.
Stephen Davidson's in. Whiskey Friend. There's some guy called Alan. He's in black and white or something. I don't know. He must be quite old.
We miss you.
Who else we got? Yeah. Scrolling up. Andy C was in. Don't know if he's still in. Hopefully he is. Yeah. quite a few people in.
I need one of them.
Some very knowledgeable guys. Greg, I mean, pointed out that if you add more than 5% peated whiskey, it will start dominating.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was
He's
told.
been to a lot of.
That's
He's got.
that's why I've had to stop pouring in the peated whiskies into this because it did overtake it.
Go on. Carry on, Andrew.
We got witchcraft going on.
How's your one going there, Andrew? I mean, that's the first time you tried it.
Well, I was just going to ask, how long has the chat been going for so far?
20 minutes.
No idea.
20
minutes?
20 minutes?
Because from the time that I've poured it now, I haven't tried any of it yet, but the nose has just opened up and become so much more salty than what it was.
Okay.
When I just poured it, I would have to say it was a lot fruitier, but now it's gone more salty. So, well, I said it's the Lefroy 10 and Lefroy Select Cask.
Okay.
So, yeah. My hands are here.
Well, it was your own specimen.
Yeah.
Oh, the colour.
Don't chill filtered, so it will go cloudy.
Anthony, when I send you your one, yours is going to be labelled special one. It will be the special reserve.
Well, his lips only.
Sorry, Nikki, I'll get you the proper stuff. That's okay. Anthony can have the special reserve.
I don't know how to take that, bro.
And I'm not going to say anything.
I'm going to give this a go.
Go on, Andrew. Come on, live tasting.
Come on.
Yeah, no pressure, man.
I hope it's nice. If it's horrible.
It's a smoke bomb. Definitely a smoke bomb. But very, it's weird. When I first sipped it, it started off as quite thin and watery. And then it just went thick for like a full mouth coating. It's very ashy. So even at this point, the peat has just dominated pretty much everything that's in it so far. I think probably whatever I add in it from now on, I definitely cannot add any more peated whiskey. I need to add in, I think probably more sherry casks and whatnot to kind of sweeten out that peat. But it's quite good. It's I didn't know what to expect from it, but it's really nice. So
how many peats are in there, Andrew?
Sorry?
How many peated whiskies have you put in there so far?
Like I said, there's the Lefroy 10 and the Select Cask, and I think the Kilkerran 12. That's also slightly peated as well. I think from memory. So
that's a great whiskey.
It's probably at this stage it's about a quarter of peated whiskies.
Yeah, it's quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, and sorry, the Bunnahabhain 12 is unpeated or peated?
I
can't remember.
Slightly peated, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's
very slightly, more like an earthy type deal going on.
So I'd say probably half peat at the moment.
Yeah, that's probably why.
But for those of you who like peat, it's fantastic. So I reckon Matthias, you'd probably really enjoy this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How's yours going, Matt?
Which one?
The one you're doing as we speak.
Oh, it's done.
Come on.
Or it's done for now.
Give us the nose.
Is that a Belvini bottle?
Just 1 second.
So how many whiskies are in there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 at the moment. It's Glendronach 12, Chivas Regal Extra, Glenrothes 18, Naked Grouse, the blended malt one, Dalmau 12, Abelard 12, Abelard Abuna, Grand Sherry Cask Finish, and Glendronach 18.
Wow.
Sounds nice.
That's a sherry bomb.
If that's
I need to get
horrible.
another glass because this just smells like smoke. Just a second.
Chris, is there anything that we've said that's turned your attention to doing one?
No.
No.
I love your honesty.
Just
Well,
want to drink all the whiskey you've got.
I
don't
say
you?
that I've when I done it and when I got it, I got, I'm going to plug it again, but I got the Ralphie signed bottle.
Yeah.
I said when I get close to finishing this, I was going to turn it into an infinity bottle, just because I want to keep the bottle as such.
You should.
I think I'll probably do that. Obviously, this is unpeated, so I might stick with unpeated in it, or maybe not put as much peat in it. Saying that, I don't think I've got anything really majorly peated at the moment. I've got, the Kilcairn 12, and that new Hazelburn I think is pretty peated, which Toby made me buy. Thanks, Toby.
Yeah, he's made
me buy that.
Is it any good?
He's making us all buy.
Is it any good?
Whiskey Toby's.
So if you, Chris, if you start some controversy, maybe add some of your cognac into there as well.
What? I can't hear you with the echo in your bloody room.
I'll put it to a tunnel.
What?
I would say if you want to start some controversy, then maybe pour some of your cognac into it as well.
Yeah. Or some rum. I got some rum.
Make a mixed spirits infinity bottle.
There's an idea.
No rules.
There is in the Scotch
Just buy a whiskey. You're not selling it, are you?
I think yesterday I almost had a mob after me. I think I posted up on the Whiskey Tribe Facebook page asking if anybody has ever tried blending a high proof vodka with a 40% whiskey just to see what would happen. Would you get that that extra ABV into it? And some most people were pretty good, but some of the gifts were very entertaining that came through.
You can be controversial sometimes, Andrew. That's okay. Starts conversation, don't it?
He's far away. Nobody can go and get him, can they?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, fly over the ocean.
Most of them
I
never
would
left
if I could.
the US anyway, so you're safe.
Go on, Matt. What's it like?
It's apples and oranges and sherry and.
That's a good colour. Nice.
Yeah,
and
it's a very nice color. Well, Dalmore is in it, so you can't really.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Only thing Dalmore is good for is blending.
Yeah. Oh,
Put some more E150 in there, did you?
all the beans.
So you're saying that's 100% naturally presented, yeah?
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100% naturally presented. Well, it's very nice on the nose. Doesn't smell like a blend. Oranges and red apples and sherry sweetness, candied almonds.
Cool.
And a little bit of, barrel ashiness char from the Abula. Yeah, just very nice. Yeah, just rich, round, very good. And the ABV is 44 currently. I measured it, so I'll keep a track on that. It's better than the other one.
I think it's
What
nice.
is that, Chris?
Lovely.
The
Oh, the Portwood.
Glendronach Portwood.
Pass
Not
it
the
over,
peated
Chris.
Portwood,
Not
is it?
peated, no.
Pass it over,
No,
Chris.
you wanted the Hazelburn. You wanted the Hazelburn, that's what you're going to get.
Okay. Alright, pass the Hazelburn then.
Toby, nose yours for us. Let us know what you can get from yours.
Mine?
This is the only time I can feel like Alan pulling off a bottle that someone else is showing off.
Yeah.
That's not exactly the one, but it's the peated version.
Cool.
I can definitely pick up some peat on this now.
Can
I think there's about 6 or 7% peated. Yeah, there's an ever so slight hint of peat on mine.
I'm impressed with the logo.
Yeah.
I like that.
You like that?
I feel like you've got.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I like that.
I have got.
We need to do that next time.
I did have that on.
No.
Toby, do you know at the off the top of your head what what whiskies you've actually put in there at the moment, or?
Yeah, I've got a spreadsheet for it. I can tell you.
And after your heart.
Yeah.
Do it.
So it's got very simple whiskies like Highland Black 8 from Aldi, and it's got things like Balvenie 14 Caribbean cask.
Nice.
There's Jura Prophecy in there, small amount of that. Glenfiddich 15.
Nice.
There's Aberlour 12. There's things like Jameson's and Jameson's Caskmates.
Nice.
There's even things like Highland Park 12 in there. There's a small amount of that.
Yeah.
There's quite a mix.
Basically reeled off Nicky's
All of
favourite
my
whiskies.
favourites. Send me some. Good.
Actually, I haven't tried it yet, but how is the Highland
Highland Black.
Highland Black rod? Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Highland Black.
Highland Black's all right.
I like
Yeah, it's a
For the
good
price.
entry-level whiskey, I think.
It's the world's best whiskey, Andrew.
Nice for me.
Yeah.
Thumbs
Man,
up.
they won all those awards. I should have known.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely good.
Actually, do you guys get their bourbon as well? I think we have one of the Aldi bourbons here. It's called Bluegrass. Do you guys get that as well?
We have West Point. It's also Aldi bourbon.
Is the
haven't seen any
Aldi,
bourbons.
we have
the one that
Clark's.
the other one?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, Clark's.
Lidl's,
it's
we have
Hogwash.
Western Gold.
Yeah, Western
Which
Gold.
somebody's
Yeah.
done a review on if you want to go and check that out.
We've got one from Aldi's which was called Hogwash.
Who did that?
And that would be
Chris?
the last drop.
I was the
Matt.
Hogwasher.
Oh,
Yeah.
it would.
Single
Check it out.
malt. Yeah,
Yeah,
just-
so
It's actually a very
this
decent
channel.
bourbon for the price.
It's all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
So Matt,
Yeah.
you know, you were saying that you'd measured your infinity bottle to say what the ABV was.
Yeah.
Can you show us how you do that? Because I've never
Yeah,
seen
absolutely. It's very simple. I just got this hydrometer.
Okay.
It's basically you fill up this, or almost fill up this glass cylinder. I can just do that now with the other one. I haven't tested that one yet. Sounds like somebody's taking a piss every time I fill the bottle.
it's like a science
Taking the piss
lesson,
out of
this.
you.
Yeah, absolutely. Poof.
Do we really want your samples then?
I'm gonna send you some special ones, Andrew.
That's apple
Made with
juice.
love and Heineken. And then this one goes in and it floats. And it just needs some time to settle in. Actually, you have to do it on a surface.
Yeah.
But I'll just take it a bit closer here. I don't know if it will focus or not. But then you can see on this side, it will measure up what ABV it currently is.
That's
And
cool.
this one seems to be 41.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you
I
know?
got it because I
That's-
need to
sorry.
label my rye when it's done. So I had to put on some exact ABV info on that. So that's the reason. It's cool, you know, to see. You can do calculations if you know the exact proportions. You put the whiskey proportions, you put it in, then you can calculate it. It's not 100% exact, but this one gives you a very decent idea of what the ABV
Good,
is.
Dave buggered off. Right.
back.
Okay.
Oh,
Is that a standard hydrometer, Matt, or is it like a special spirits one? Because I've got one that I use for.
it's a spirits
for
one.
beer.
It's made to measure the relation between alcohol and water,
Yeah.
basically. You can't do it in wine. You can use a hydrometer in wine or in beer or liqueurs or port or something like that because the sugar content is too high.
So do they change
They-
scale wise?
Yeah, because it's all based on weight.
Okay.
So you need to get another one for that. I don't actually know what that's called. Somebody in the chat put it in the comments what it's called. The one you use to measure. We love Gregor.
Can't see that. We can see we heart Chris.
Gregor,
Like.
I think it's called.
If we
We can do it.
can you see that? Can you see it?
Oh God! I spilled whiskey all over my table.
Oh God! Don't set light to it.
Quick, lick it up, lick it up.
I just need to lick it up just 1 second.
Absolutely.
Hold on while I move
that
your
the same
frame
percent?
so you're licking the top of Andrew's head.
I did. That's all right, actually. People are asking in the chat, what are we drinking? So, chat, shall we say what we're drinking?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm drinking Rittenhouse
Oh,
Rye.
Rittenhouse, right?
Oh, into that one. Where is that from?
I got it from the Somerton Whisky Festival last weekend. It's I think it's Heaven Hill brand.
Cool.
How's it going, Toby? Is it nice?
Yeah, it's good. It's really spicy.
Because that's 100% right,
50%.
50%.
Yeah, might be.
Might be.
Andrew, what are you drinking? Oh, Elijah Craig. Nice. Matt, what are you drinking?
My Infinity Bowl.
Table lick.
Oh, you're finished.
Yeah, table lick. And I'm switching to the Glendronach 18
Mixture
now.
of baby sick, coffee, and now whiskey.
Hair and
Play nice, boys.
leftover breakfast crumbles.
Chris, what are you drinking?
I've got the Glendronach Portwood, which is new release, 10 years old. It is very interesting. I think it needs to open up a bit more. I'm only on sort of neck pour, really. It's only been open a couple of days, but it's nice. Nice sherry bomb. I'm going to send
Sherry bomb.
Dave.
It's peated. It's Portwood.
yeah, well, it's still sherry. It's still PX and
Or
Oloroso
Dave
in it. So.
Yeah, it's
And it's
finished
finished
in.
in-
Just Dave? Or Dave and
It's
Nico?
nice. Yeah, I'm going to send a sample to you and Dave anyway.
Say, Matthias, is the Portwood the one that you bought the other day as well, or did you get a different one?
It's basically the same thing, except it's different. It's the peated Portwood.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Peated Portwood.
Very nice. Very, very, very nice whiskey.
So when are you going to buy me that 1989 edition one?
Oh, I actually have money right here. I'm going to send it to you.
Let's do it.
No, Andrew and I was chatting the other day, and while he was doing work, I was on an online retailer we have here in Denmark, and trying to search for independent bottlings of our birth year. And I have a bottle that is distilled in the month I was born. So I tried to find something equivalent to that for Andrew, and I can't remember what we found, but we found something from '89, right?
Yeah, I think it was a.
Get away.
Yeah, I think it was a Glendronach, I think, wasn't it? A 1989 Glendronach from my actual birthday.
Oh yeah, from your exact birthday.
Wow.
That's right.
That's pretty rare.
Peppery.
What day is that, Andrew?
I'm not telling you.
I'm telling you.
That's November 30.
Oh man.
70 what? 74.
89. You just said 89. Come on.
89.
Turn up your hearing aid, Anthony.
I'm not having it.
Yeah.
I heard him. I just don't believe it.
What, you saying he looks younger?
No.
Oh,
older.
so may look older, mentally younger. We've got like the mental age of a 13-year-old.
Yeah, more like a toddler.
Who is the oldest one here?
I'm the one having fun.
You. You're the
Oh,
oldest.
come
here.
on.
Totally.
What's the year of your birth then?
Who, me? 81.
Yeah, you.
Oh,
Oh, get lost.
silly me, isn't it?
Jesus. So she's the oldest
I'm
then.
the oldest.
Nick's
Older
the
than-
oldest.
Younger
then.
man, Nikki, really?
I know.
She likes Jason.
You could do better.
What
You
can I
could do
say?
better. Come on.
You can do so much better.
Toby, when are you from?
78.
Ooh,
78.
close.
Jesus
close.
Christ, I'm young.
Oh,
Not really.
wow.
Yeah.
I've got infinity bottles older than you. Like.
Oh my god, that killed the conversation, didn't it?
Let's go to the chat, shall we?
Thank you for watching.
So Toby, I don't know if I've
Yeah.
already asked you this. So when you're doing your infinity bottle, do you keep your eye on it as you're doing it, or do you just let it run and then see how it is by the time the bottle's full?
It's all guesswork. So what I decide to put in there and the percentages I put in there, although it might be a 25 or 50 ml measure, it's pure guesswork as to what I think I want to put in there.
So you don't alter it as you go. You don't.
No,
put
no.
in bourbon or...
So I wait for it to get to the top, and then when I'm brave enough and somebody wants to try it with me, we give it a go.
How many have you done so far?
It's still the original
It's still the-
Infinity bottle,
yeah.
but we've drunk out of it 3 times,
Okay.
and I've
Anyway-
just in the last week or so I've started my peated one,
Okay. Yeah.
and that one isn't full yet, so I haven't started drinking it yet.
How long on average do you reckon it would take you to fill an infinity bottle, putting in a dram of whiskies that you buy every time?
I don't know. See, the problem is I've got plenty of whiskies, so if I wanted to start a theme, I could probably fill a bottle quite quickly. You know, this one here, that's my new one. It's 3/4 full, and that's
Yeah.
just with whiskies that I've got around the house.
Right.
So I haven't got any more peated whiskies to fill it up yet.
Do
So
you
that
keep-
might take a little while.
You've got.
Say that again?
Do you keep track of how many whiskies you've got in the house?
Yeah,
Have you got a
unfortunately.
spreadsheet?
Yeah, and an app.
I
I mean, this is going into one of those parts now, like where it's getting into like organization porn, and I think Anthony just seems to be getting too excited right now. He's like, "Oh, spreadsheets!"
I love it. I love a spreadsheet. Toby Moy's gone.
I can imagine Alan
Yeah,
with
he
his
likes
like a
whiskey.
tick list when he like takes all his bottles out to his summer house. Like, yep, Aaron
Yeah.
24's in, Aaron 14's in, Aaron 10's in.
Does Toby know the story?
I was
Do you
saying
know,
Alan
Toby-
needs a terabyte hard drive for his.
Toby, did you know that Alan from the Whiskey Friend takes all of his whiskey back in the house after every video?
No.
Handwritten.
And they don't get left in the shed. They get taken back into the house every time.
That's too much effort.
That display behind him is a setup every time.
It's
Too
just
much
a green
effort.
screen. He doesn't have that. Whiskey.
He doesn't even like whiskey.
Yeah, he doesn't. It's all just water he has in his glass.
So how many bottles have you got,
I
Toby?
think he's left the chat as well. For ages.
Alan's in still.
I don't know. I'd have to check my spreadsheet.
How many have you got, Chris?
Me?
Yeah.
1, 2. No, that's not whiskey. 1, 2,
Spreadsheet. He doesn't
Aw.
understand.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Oh, the several pages.
Unlucky
many?
for some.
How many?
13.
13, Dave.
13.
Oh,
What about-
I've got a few more than that.
Go on, Toby.
I've got 60,
6-0.
60.
yeah, plus about the same again in samples.
Wow. Oh yeah, samples as well. I've
Sample.
got 7. Got it really.
I could probably make another 5 bottles out of those samples.
Yeah. What about you?
So with you, Chris, do you find that you more so will like buy a bottle, finish it, then get another one rather than building up say a whole collection,
Yeah,
or
I mean, I'm quite limited on space, really. My mate sort of let me down quite badly with shelving.
Is he watching this?
I'm quite gutted about it, but
On the floor.
yeah, that's another story. But yeah, I could sort of, yeah, I like to drink a whole bottle, really, and I spread it out because, like most of us, we're all starting out on a journey. Me especially. I've only been really serious with whiskey this year, so it's like 6 months. And already I'm on a Hazelburn 14 Oloroso cask. I mean, what's up with that? I mean, 6 months ago, I wouldn't even know that sort of thing existed. You know, I'd be looking at Glenfiddich's and Glenmorangies and all that sort of, the popular stuff. But yeah, I think it's difficult. Yeah, difficult for me space-wise.
Yeah.
Get them all in. There's stuff I want to try. I mean, I feel pressured by Roy at Aquavitae to get a Deanston 12. Keeps banging on about it.
Yeah, me too.
Pressured.
Does love a Dean.
And then you just look at Alan's collection, and you just all of a sudden feel inadequate.
Well, yes and no, but I think that is that's a lot of whiskey. And obviously he started that when he was not drinking it. So that's not a drinking collection, that was a collecting collection.
About 8 years ago.
If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, Alan, he obviously is in the chat, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah.
So that's maybe a bit different from his point of view. But I mean, if you look at, I mean, you never see Ralphie's collection, but I heard it's in like a cupboard under the stairs, which seems like bizarre.
He's probably got a vault somewhere.
Yeah.
Secondary boffy.
In multiple locations.
Yeah, he's got a decent collection, hasn't he? To be honest.
But yeah, I mean,
Probably like Fort Knox.
I mean, mine's got a bit bigger over the past few days. Just with the addition of the Glendronach and the Hazelburn. And my wife's over there listening, but I haven't maybe drunk a lot as much whiskey.
Don't admit to anything.
I have one bottle of whiskey.
Like one bottle of whiskey.
Honey.
This old whiskey, I've had this ages.
But yeah, I've been more about the cheaper end, which I think everybody can see on the channel and stuff like that, which is, I think, maybe more relatable to the wider community, I guess. Or the largest community, because a lot of people can't afford £100 whiskey. It's not a reasonable thing for people to get.
I always find the frustrating. I'm sorry, mate. I was just going to say, I always find the frustrating thing is that we all generally start off with the cheaper things, and then once you start to really get into it, you just start going up and up and up and up until you realize, oh crap, I just spent almost $200 on this bottle.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous,
isn't it? You got to find the balance.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like every collection that you have, you always kind of want to aspire to the better. And it's just as your knowledge grows on what that better is, that's when you kind of start exploring that. And that was the same with us with that Signet in the video that we just did. It's kind of, it's so much more than our average bottle that we would spend. We just don't want to open it at the moment.
He doesn't want to open it. I think we should just open it.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? I think my journey has led me to, this Glendronach and this Hazelburn at the moment. So they're both £50 whiskies, just over, which maybe 4 months ago, I wouldn't have even considered, just because of that price bracket. And that's not that much of a step if you think about it in the whiskey term. I mean, there's thousands of pounds worth of whiskey for one bottle. But I was very much limited to that sort of under £40, and this is almost an experiment to go, if just that little bit extra, do you get a better class of whiskey that you can savour more? I found that that's another thing as well. I found that I have nights where I'll just come home and a couple of hours later I'll have a dram. I don't want anything complex. And again, I've said this before. All I want is just I'll knock out a Buffalo Trace, which is 18 quid a bottle on Amazon at the moment.
Yeah,
ridiculous price.
Yeah,
it's such an easy drinking bourbon that you then get to another day and you want something a bit more complex. Maybe it's a Sunday evening like tonight, and you want something a bit more complex, something that you can study and things like that, just to appreciate more. And I think that's maybe the journey we have.
Mm-hmm.
I can totally relate to that. When I started out in whiskey, I was interested in Japanese whiskey because somebody, well, it's another story, but somebody showed me Japanese whiskey, and I was instantly taken aback by the price. But I thought, is this something special, or I've at least got to try it. But taking the plunge on even a cheap bottle of Japanese whiskey was an expensive thing to try.
Yeah.
But as you're learning your way through whiskey, there's plenty of cheap whiskies that you need to sort of try your palate with to learn these flavors and smell these aromas before you get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously you can take a step too far and jump into the deep end and then realize that maybe I've taken a step too quickly.
Yeah.
And then it's still good to go back to the cheaper stuff, because at some point our palates will get to the point where we'll appreciate the more expensive stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm there, sometimes I'm not. It depends on the whiskey, and everybody gets to that more experience level at different points.
Yeah.
Has any of you taken a step up in kind of price and quality of whiskey and been disappointed by it?
Definitely. I think the one thing that I've noticed the most myself, and I think you guys would have gotten this as well. Look, for me, generally, I try to hover more around, say, the $70 to $80. So that's Australian dollar. So I think that would be about around the £30 mark, average, give or take. So average price range. Now, the one thing that I've learned also is that the price does not reflect quality whatsoever. You can spend hundreds of dollars on a whiskey, and when you try it, you find that it's absolutely crap. You could spend $20 or $40 on a whiskey, and it will be your favorite whiskey that you keep going back to time and time again.
Yeah, it depends on your taste preference.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the dollar value or the krona or the pound, it does not reflect your taste.
Yeah.
People
disappointed by
and the only time that I would say that people are wrong when it comes to like drinking whiskey and things like that, the only time they're wrong is if they say to you that the more you pay, the better the quality of the whiskey.
Yeah. So, Andrew, was there a specific whiskey that disappointed you?
The only one at the moment that I've had that's really disappointed me more so has been actually the Lafroig 4 Oak. That is a travel retail exclusive. I mean, I love my Lafroig in general, and to me, I think that was one that I just really overhyped too much. I was like, I'm getting Lafroig, it's going to be incredible. I had these expectations of it, and when I had it, I've been disappointed. I've had the bottle for almost 2 years now, and I'm struggling to get through it.
Right.
It would be like, that's kind of like my Dalmore 12 at the moment.
Okay.
I mean, it's not bad. I'm not saying that it's a horrible whiskey, but it's just not as good as what I was hoping it would be.
What were you comparing it to?
Well, if it tasted more similar to the Lafroig 10 or along those lines, I would have been happier.
Yeah.
But it's a much more washed out version of that. But then you will talk to other people. Now I've spoken to other people in other like Facebook groups and whatnot, and they were completely surprised that I didn't like it. To them, they loved it. So again, it comes to taste. I mean, we could all try the same whiskey, and I would be curious to do that one day if we were to all try the exact same thing and see what different opinions we have on it. Because look, there may be similarities in what we get, but it could be completely
all subjective, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Any of you experienced a more expensive whiskey that's disappointed you?
Possibly, but I was quite roused. I'm pretty sure I drank some really good whiskies at the at the gathering in Glasgow, but I can't remember.
Oh, I so wanted to be there on that night.
Alan will tell you, because yeah, I tried to nick his bag on the street somewhere.
Did you work out if you're going to the London Whisky Festival, Chris?
Oh, the Whisky Show.
Yeah.
I probably will. A bit. I don't know. Price puts me off, but
Just a bit. You're going, aren't you, Toby?
I am, yeah.
Yeah. It's about 110 quid.
yeah. Sunday you going, Toby, or Saturday?
I am, yeah, Sunday.
Are these big gatherings of people, or are they like very limited to the amount of like the tickets? Are they a very limited amount of tickets, or is it fairly?
This is the Whisky Exchange.
Yeah,
you know the
big
website
one.
Whisky Exchange. So it's one of the bigger retailers in UK. They got a couple of shops in London. And a lot of on stuff.
100 pounds. That's incredible.
Yeah, 110 quid. But yeah, I mean, every whiskey you can go in there and try all the whiskies. I mean, you know. You also get a 2-course meal, I believe, a free glass, and something else. You get a Dream Dram token, don't you?
Yeah.
So what does that
so you get to try something a bit more pricier.
Yeah. Oh, right, okay.
So you get one.
That comes to just under $200 Australian.
Yeah.
It's
It's at least a couple of bottles of decent whiskey.
Yeah.
But it's more about the experience and the fact that you can try stuff that you'll never get to try, the stuff that you can, you know, you can share it with people at the same time. You know, it's more about the experience, I think.
Than
it's
part of that journey, isn't it? I mean, you can go there and taste things that you thought, I might try this, I might try that. Do I really want to try that? But,
and you can obviously try stuff that you'd probably never be able to purchase either.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stuff that might not be available to buy still.
Are you filming there, Toby, or are you just visiting?
I might take a few short clips. Yeah. I'm not doing anything serious.
if I go, I
not
will
like
be
Chris does.
filming.
Yeah, not like Chris.
They haven't got back to me. I've
Have you
asked
had
them
to go ahead?
for permission to film, but they haven't got back to me yet.
Yeah, we took your lead on that and sent him an email as well, so we're waiting to hear back. Learn from the master moocher.
Yeah.
Are these events usually quite lenient when it comes to filming and things like that, or do they rather you don't
They're
do
not
it?
too bad. As long as you're not in people's faces. Obviously, if you're asking the guy on the stall or girl on the stall if it's okay to film and stuff like that, everybody's pretty much fine with it. I think it's sort of almost a given with events now, which is quite interesting. So
I think especially now with the whole like whiskey tube scene
it's
as well.
pretty
I
big.
guess
let's all say bye
like
to
a
Alan
whiskey
though. Alan's
tasting
going.
of
Okay, see you,
Bye,
Alan.
Alan.
Bye, Alan. Take care, buddy.
See you, buddy.
Right.
So, yeah.
Have you been to one before, Toby, or is this your first one?
Yeah, I went to the Whiskey Lounge at the Oval recently. That was pretty good. It was more more entry level, I'd say, but it was right up my street because obviously I'm still at the beginning of my whiskey journey compared to some others. So there were lots of whiskies there I'd never tried from a lot of the major producers.
Yeah.
So it was good. And I didn't try anything I'd tried before. I only tried things that I'd not tried.
Yeah.
It's pointless just to try whiskey for the sake of it.
Yeah.
So,
I've noticed that you've started a new channel as well, haven't you, Toby?
Yeah. So my channel's Whisky Shared. I was posting whiskey content on my existing YouTube. Just been a bit.
Oh God,
Really,
Andrew,
Andrew,
please.
seriously, man.
Go.
Guys trying to promote stuff and you're bloody making a coffee.
It was just getting muddled up on my existing channel with other content, and obviously when you've got a mix of subscribers and somebody's subscribed to you for one reason, all of a sudden you're producing whiskey stuff and they're not interested. It just didn't work. So I thought I might as well start a dedicated channel and put whiskey content on there.
100%, mate. Looking good as well.
Cheers.
Yeah. And you, Matt?
So what was the other channel that you were doing before, Toby?
Andrew, please, I haven't said anything for like 45 minutes and now you interrupt.
That's the point.
Pause that thought, Andrew. Matt, so you've got a new channel as well, haven't you?
Me?
Yes. You've got
drinking and painting. Yes.
What's that all about? Before Andrew interrupts you again.
Well, it's very sophisticated and it's very professional. It's complicated in the essence of complicated. It's drinking and painting. It's me drinking while painting. So I paint while I drink. So yeah. Sorry.
Andrew finished making his coffee and then we can carry on.
Basically it's because I've picked up painting once again. It has been silent for a couple of years and I've decided that it could be a good thing to pick up, and I still want to put out some content, but I don't want to do anything that is demanding in any way or fits into any kind of schedule or something like that. So it's just whenever I feel like it and whatever I feel like painting and drinking, and it's just if you don't like painting, you can I'm drinking whiskey. If you don't like either of those, you can listen to the music. So yeah,
Bob Ross carved a career out of it, mate.
Sorry?
Bob Ross carved a career out of it.
Yeah, I'm growing out the hair.
Little afro.
Mate, you've just got to do you. Make sure.
Yeah, it's just for fun, and I picked up the blog again. For anybody interested, it's on Facebook. Caskmate Everything Whiskey. And it's fun to do. I've missed the writing, and it's a cool thing to you can leave it and go back to it whenever you want, and do it whenever there's time. So I enjoy that absolutely. Yeah. I think it's very cool.
More power to you, mate. I appreciate the fact that you're doing it.
Yeah.
Nice to watch whiskey and something, you're painting from a different angle, so it's refreshing.
Yeah, I think it's fun to do, and there's no intention in the drinking and painting channel of it's going in, it's supposed to be anything or going in a certain direction or growing or be scheduled or content determined in any way. It is just me setting up the tripod, pulling out a bottle, and starting painting and drinking. So it's just for the hell of it, and I am going to do the thing you suggested, where I would do one sober and one pissed drunk. No, but yeah, it's cool, but there is no deeper intention behind it. It's just for whoever wants to join in. Yeah.
That resonates so much with me. It's perfect.
It's good to hear. Thank you.
I'm a therapist, so I use art every day. Go with it.
Oh my God, that explains so much. Is Dave an ex-patient?
Actually,
No. Is he a patient?
If you could, hey,
I haven't got that many hours free.
if you could see some of the outtakes from my videos, I am a patient. Trust me.
Oh, no. Matt, you do it. You do it.
Yeah, you do.
You do
mate.
you.
You do you, buddy.
Yeah.
Not
Andrew,
Thank you.
when it comes to the point where you start cutting off your ear, Matthias, that's when Nikki will have to just stop in.
I'm gonna cut it off and send it to you.
And I will cherish it forever.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
keep
It's going to
talking,
be
I'll
my
put both my
iteration of
ears
it,
up.
sort of a Godfather kind of gift. Instead of sending you a horse head, I'm going to send you my cut off ear.
Would you like me to send you a picture of me holding it up, or?
No, that would be fucking creepy. Are you nuts?
Well, see, this plan of yours might not work then.
Oh. Well.
Chris, you got any plans for your channel? You got any plans for your channel moving forward? Any ideas? Cooking?
Yes, I do.
And share.
Welcome to Chris Cooking Show.
Come on.
I'm a very good cook.
Cooking with whiskey.
I have, you know.
Yeah.
Right, so when do we come around yours, Chris?
Well, you're close by, so probably whenever you want, really. But
Alright.
Where are you based?
Cheers.
You based?
Me, I'm in Eastbourne.
yeah, and I'm in
Right.
Brighton, so
Yeah.
Toby's literally a
Not
train
far
ride
from
away.
Chris.
It's like half hour.
Yeah.
And I'm in Birmingham.
Half hour, yeah.
That would be a weekend away for us.
Yeah. Anyone got a spare room?
Not for you, no. Toby might.
Looks like I'm going to Andrews.
We could Skype.
Yeah. Channel wise, yeah, I think the lives are going really well. We all seem to be having a lot of fun.
Yeah, except for the Aussie.
So, one of my plans I've been looking at is a bit inspired by, but see the 12 hours of boom was yesterday, wasn't it? So that's a long old stint. Doing a live every hour. I thought about doing the Whisky Team week live. So there'd be spoiler alert, there'd be a few of us, 3 of us every day. Obviously myself being main person, because it'd be stream.
So selfish.
And then
Always-
bringing in
always
a
about you.
guest.
It's all about you.
Right.
The Chris
Let me just
show, isn't it?
mute Matt. But yeah, bring in a special guest every day. So I'd be looking at other people, other YouTubers, bringing in one of them each day with a specific topic in mind, very similar to now. All of us on screen, having a bit of banter, having a bit of a chat about whiskey, and yeah, doing Whiskey Week live.
Yeah.
That's going to be a little thing that I want to do. We've already got Antonio's interested and Stuart Whiskey Wims. They're both interested, so I'll probably try and get them on. I'm sure there are certain other members who we can get quite easily.
Do any of you watch Bourbon and Baby?
Sorry?
Do any of you watch Bourbon and Baby?
Bourbon Baby, yeah.
Yeah.
Whiskey Owl as well. I think he'd
He
be
might
interested.
Yeah, there's a few, isn't there?
Whiskey Straight Owl.
Yeah.
But yeah, try and get a few more YouTubers involved. I will be asking Roy whether I can get Roy on. I don't know. I will be asking Scotch Test Dummies whether I can get them on. I don't know either. But
and Vin.
Use your sex appeal, man.
Vin is
Use your jack off face.
My
Just one of those retarded Chihuahua pictures just then.
Is that an Australian thing? That what you? That's what you jack off to down under. I don't know what. What?
That's a whole new
He's
video.
strange, Chris. He's weird.
That's a different live chat.
Mark Slinger's saying get Trenny and C. Trenny and C would be awesome, Mark, but time zone is a pain in the backside for that one.
Yeah.
I
suppose it'd be a
way
good-
I've
You heard
done-
of that guy?
got-
What's his face? Ralphie.
Ralphie. Hey, it's worth an email, isn't it?
Yeah, to be honest.
What was it?
Does he do guest chats? Oh, he did Aquavita, didn't
Yeah, I don't think
I
he
think
does
that's-
collaborations like this.
Not
Yeah.
guest
He
on
done
this.
Roy, but
I think that was the only one that he's done.
he? Yeah.
it's worth a go. But yeah, try and get a few people. Whiskey Week Live. Some
So, Chris,
interesting topics. I think I've got.
Yeah.
are you
quite
going
cool.
to do a couple of YouTubers each time, like 2 or 3 at the same time, or is it going to be you and someone else?
No, it'd be the Whisky Team. So us guys here now. To be honest, I prefer to get myself off the middle.
Yeah.
Just have 4 people on the screen. Just for that ethic.
Yeah.
I think it will look a bit better if you move your thing just slightly over Dave's head. It'll be a bit better.
Be
There
better
we
if
go.
Chris,
got
couldn't you
shot
do
more,
that?
to be honest.
Would it be, Chris, would it be
We can hear him
disruptive in any kind of way?
Sorry?
Chris, would it be disruptive in any kind of way if it was just you and 3 other channels, so you had that, those 4 feeds?
No. I can probably fit on a lot more people on screen. I don't know how much Skype can handle, and I don't know how much my network can
You're going to need
handle.
a big boat.
But yeah, I could probably
I
get like
suppose it
8,
depends on
9,
the
10
themes,
maybe
though, doesn't
people
it?
on screen. I think that maybe might be a bit too busy. So I'm thinking
Yeah.
format-wise, 4 people is a nice, straight, it's cut across, down.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a nice little number. But yeah, it'd be.
That's one.
I've got a spreadsheet which will please Toby and Dave. So that's on the go.
Anthony's
In fact,
jack off face.
I've got everybody listed on like different days and stuff like that going already with what day to go at. Also, I'll probably go for a non-whiskey day as well. Be a bit controversial, so might force you to go out and get a rum or a cognac or an Armagnac or a.
Oh, I thought you meant non-alcoholic.
No.
Yeah, me too. I thought that as well.
Why would you think that? What? What?
I don't know. There's,
Welcome to
There's
the
lots of
Whisky
that
Team.
going on,
Tonight
isn't there?
We're going to do knitting.
Yeah.
painting. We can do painting.
Yeah, painting. Yeah,
Yeah.
Something that's
I'd be up for a
different than
cognac.
whiskey.
Yeah,
Well,
me
you bring
too. I do like cognac
alcoholic.
and armagnac.
Can we bring non kind of whiskey related options to you, Chris?
Of course.
But they've all
I
got to
don't
be
know what that
Friday,
means. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I don't know. Nikki grabbed
If you're
your
gonna
arm at
do-
that point, so I'm a bit worried.
If you're going to do topics that aren't whiskey related,
Oh god.
can we suggest some?
It's the Blair Witch. Oh,
Sorry, say again.
If you're going to ask special guests or non-whiskey related like topics, can we suggest some to you, or are you going to be in control of that? You're going to.
You can suggest whatever you want.
Doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Doesn't mean it's going to happen though.
No, any suggestions are welcome, honestly.
The only thing that I was going to suggest to you, Chris, it's been something that I've been thinking over probably the last week or so.
Bloody
especially-
kangaroo meat.
I think especially now that the group is growing. I mean, I think what have we got about 7 of us so far in in our little messenger chat group that we've got going on.
Yeah.
I think it might get to the point where, like you said, to keep the format going, depending on what topic you want to, especially since you're hosting, depending on what topic you're wanting to do, maybe you should put out the selection of which specific like channels you want on the page. So on for the chat, rather than having like all of us just trying to cram in as much as we can.
Yeah.
That way, like like you said, the format is cleaner. Like you can have your square rather than being in the middle and like all that kind of thing. So that's just something I've been thinking about.
Just don't put me in a live feed with Andrew. I don't want to do that.
Oh, I can always do this. Well, like, it's just me now, so that's quite cool. Back again.
Airped just invited us to Oslo.
Good thing. Let's do that. Let's all meet up in Oslo.
Okay, what day? Next Wednesday?
Tomorrow.
Oslo?
I'll meet you there.
Yeah, you could all come to Denmark and we can share my bed, you know?
Pardon?
What?
Are you talking to me or Ant?
I'm going to watch my mouth.
Anthony, of course.
He's going through a divorce. It's probably Anthony.
Yeah.
I mean, do I have to be scared now about our chats that we have, Matthias? Because it might start to get a bit creepy now.
Yeah, well, you know.
What chats are you guys having?
Would you like to know?
Well, basically, our stint with me watching Andrew running around in his shop and always saying, in the middle of the conversation, we're talking about something and we're getting deep, you know, and very, you know, existential and stuff like that. And then it says, oh, I have to go.
Yeah.
And then I'll be staring like at a fridge or a tap or something like that for like 5 minutes. And then, oh, I'm back now.
I don't do that to you, don't I?
You really know how to keep the party going, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
At least he doesn't put you in his pocket and there's a hole in it.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
People on the chat.
Chris, I have pictures in my head now.
It's the glory hole.
like a wild gooseberry.
Matt's glory hole.
Oh, God.
Guys on the chat, they're saying that they like the 4 boxes, but they don't like the 5.
So we'll have to get rid of Chris in the middle then.
They said get rid of.
Like the Brady Bunch.
They said get rid of Chris and it'll be perfect.
No, they didn't say that. They did not say that. They said it's a bit like the Brady Bunch.
Chris is better without his cap. Really?
I think
What about the cowboy hat?
No, I like the hat.
That's
Keep
it,
the hat.
yeah. You look like a hillbilly.
Matt, put
Andrew is
your
the
hat on.
new food quig. Awesome.
Chris, now you've got to give us the test it.
Gonna test it. Last drop style.
How's that video coming on, Andrew?
Spoiler alert.
I'm still trying to get more. I need to send out another email soon to try and get some more of the other channels to try and get their videos in. Look, regardless of how many I get, I'm still going to get it. I'm still going to do the video. I think I've got about 4 or 5 responses at the moment. I was hoping to get a bit more, but that doesn't matter. It's still going to happen. So I'm waiting until at least the end of the month, and then I'll start putting it all together.
Why don't you do a shout out now? People who are watching might contribute.
Well, it's more so with the actual channels that I've asked for. I think so.
You just want YouTube channels who are like YouTube.
Yeah, it's the actual like the Whisky Tube channels themselves. Yeah.
Okay, cool. You'll get it.
And the hardest thing as well, especially with some of them. I mean, everybody's schedules are so busy. So, like I'm more so impressed as well that I was actually even able to get you guys in as well. So regardless, I'm still going to do the video. Actually, Toby, I'll probably send an email over to you as well.
Okay.
It's this little like happy birthday message to the Scotch test dummies that I'm trying to put together. If you're interested in that, by all means, please feel free to join in.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
look,
try doing it now, Toby. Do it now.
Yeah, do it now, Toby.
I
test it.
I needed to ask them for when their actual like anniversary date was, so I could put. I said to them, look, I want to put something together for you guys, and I needed to know when the date was for the like for their anniversary. So
you're going off the first release they did, the first review they did.
Yeah, I asked them like what was their like the anniversary date of their of when they started, and yeah, which I think was around the 18th of October or something like that. I'll need to go back and check it, but yeah.
Cool.
It's been hard just trying to work with people's schedules. I mean, especially like I said, some of the bigger channels as well. I mean, they're all very busy, and for them to try and take the time out and join in, it gets difficult at times. I mean, even just for us in our own daily lives, it gets difficult just to even do this sometimes. So we'll see how it goes. But it will get done.
Yeah.
Still a while off.
Cool. How's that Infinity bottle going?
Who's won? Mine? Yeah, it was great. I loved it. It was good.
Drinking something else now?
Have you finished it?
Sorry?
Are you drinking something else now? Or?
Yeah, I just before that I had just poured myself a little bit of the Elijah Craig, but yeah, I was impressed with the Infinity bottle. It turned out really well. Having it out, it went through changes that I wasn't expecting. So yeah, it was. I'm curious to see how it's going to go now once I actually start to add more into it. I think probably I'll probably end up adding in some Avalor 12. I've got some Glenfarclas 10 that I'll probably put into it as well. So I want to try adding more sherry bombs into it. See how it goes.
Yeah, I think it definitely needs it if you put that many peats in there already.
Well, I'll say for me, I love the peated stuff, so that doesn't bother me at all. It's just trying to find a good balance of flavor. So look, if it stays a peat bomb, I'm happy with that. If it changes into something else, then hey, awesome. It's all for experimentation and fun. So
yeah,
that's what it's for. Either it will work or it won't.
Cool.
I was wondering, you guys, me having stepped down from doing, YouTube videos and stuff like that, but you guys, have you with your whiskey channel, either have you reached out to distilleries, or are you planning on doing it, having them send you stuff, or do you have some kind of policy that no, I don't review gifts or donations?
Yeah, I think with regards to that, I know Toby's been there recently to Bimber Distillery.
Yeah.
We did a video of that recently, and they're so kind and generous, but I don't like to feel like I'm taking advantage of the generosity. So it's almost like I'll do what I can, but I don't really want to kind of solicit freebies and things like that. It's just I'll do what I do, and if they appreciate that, then that's great. If I can help them out, just them allowing me to tour the distillery and get some footage is enough for me. I don't need anything more than that, to be honest.
So did you pay for that then, or did you?
That one we didn't pay for. No, they did they reach out to us? I can't remember. No, I think I just did. There's a guy called Farid who runs it, and we just sent kind of a blanket email to different distilleries asking if we could film at their distilleries if we could come. Some of them said, by all means, come and we'll give it to you. Others we've paid for.
Cool.
So it was 50-50
I
really.
think we'd have done the same video no matter what.
Yeah, it didn't change the video in any way whatsoever.
I don't think we'd ever do a bad distillery visit, like review video. I just think we wouldn't do a video.
I think if I went and it was a terrible distillery, I just don't think I'd bother doing the video.
We wouldn't do a bad one.
No, I'm not here to kind of... Because just because we felt it was bad doesn't mean that everybody would, so it's unfair of us to put it on YouTube that it was a bad tour. So Bimbo was our first one, and it was...
They were amazing.
Amazing. So I'm sure Toby will agree.
And we went to a tasting in a bar recently by us, and they were, again, so generous. They took so many whiskies, and they were giving whiskey away all night.
And I didn't even know that we were a YouTube channel, so it was just us in a group of other people.
To everybody in the bar, they were just giving away dram after dram after dram.
But that's been the feeling with most places, to be honest. It's been so kind of friendly and generous.
So far.
It's almost becoming normal that the generosity is so kind of welcoming, and even people who are watching the channel and commenting now, it's all just welcoming and warming and just
experience about anything. And we've got a couple more distilleries booked. Some we've paid for ourselves, some have gifted them. We'll see. Yeah, we don't know, do we, until we do it?
No, we'll see. But we're not here to put anyone down, so it's just
the reason I asked is because when I was still doing the channel, I had reached out to a lot of distilleries here in Denmark, asking if they were willing to donate or sponsor a couple of samples for me to review. And it was never about, asking for freebies or stuff like that, but I saw it as an opportunity for me to try whiskeys, that I wouldn't get to try, on a daily basis. And at the same time, broaden the attention of Danish whiskey. Yeah. And just like you say with Bimber and the places you've visited and been in contact with, people are so willing to shake your hand and invite you in. After I did the rye review of Stauning, the biggest distillery in Denmark, one of the owners, he contacted me and said, "Hey, you like the rye? I have something for you." And then he sent me, 3 samples. And I had never expected that, So I was just wondering, because, Roy has been talking about this, that he does not want to accept anything, not, a strict policy, but he seems very, set in his place with that, because he doesn't want to be, having the feeling of needing to say specific things because he was gifted it. And I was just wondering if you guys feel the same way, if you want to keep it as independent as possible, or do you see it as just another way of, reviewing different whiskeys?
Yeah, I would say that if a distillery wants to gift us a tour on because we're going to do because we're a YouTube channel, the best I can tell them is if it's a good, enjoyable tour, we will do a video on it. If it's not, and we don't enjoy it, or there's something about it that doesn't sit right with us, we probably just won't do the video. Because it's just our opinion. So something might sit right with us, but someone else might enjoy it. So it's wrong of us to give our kind of a negative opinion on something that, it's like saying a whiskey is a terrible whiskey, isn't it? It's just our opinion. Saying a distillery is a terrible distillery is our opinion, and it's wrong of us to do a video that people, you've seen our videos are quite heavily edited. If I've gone to that much trouble to tell someone that this distillery is bad, then it might put people off going, and that's not what we're about. We're on about spreading a good, positive word of
I don't think we're popular enough yet to. It's not like we're gifted stuff every week. No, it's like we're not. No, we're not successful enough.
Yeah. And that, but our opinion, the way we review things won't change. Even if we had 10,000 followers, it would still be the same. I'm not here to put people down.
What you see is what you get. But we always err on the positive, don't we? So.
Yeah. What's your guys' thoughts on it? Are you similar, or have you got a different opinion on it?
Do you get gifted stuff?
I've only been gifted one bottle from distillery. A cognac house, to be exact. So Remy Martin, they sent me a bottle of 1738 VSOP cognac. Just sort of almost not out of the blue. I did sort of similar to Matt, where I just asked a few cognacs, because I mean we don't drink a lot of cognac, but it is one of the most exported products of France. And yeah, if you watch my review, I say that I got it free from him and stuff like that. And then I've done a comparison, and in fact, I preferred their standard VSOP to the 1738, which is about a 10 quid hike in price.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm about the honesty, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they give it to me, then that's fine. But if it's not great, I'm probably going to say it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, because that is where I want to thread the needle in a way, because that is also what I've always told distilleries that was willing to give me, donate stuff to the channel, was always that I'm very grateful and I will do an honest review of what I think about it, but I will not say something positive just because you gave it to me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tear it apart and tear the new one just if I feel like it, because like you say, Anthony, it's not about highlighting the bad things, it's about highlighting the positive things. So yeah, I would always it's about the honesty, and people will see through that kind of thing. I have this every time you get a donated sample and you say it's the best.
Yeah.
That sort of falls flat.
Yeah.
But I mean, you get stuff, and it is. I find when I'm trying whiskey, I'm looking to be sort of almost inspired. Every time, every dram, every sip I take, I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I want to taste something that's maybe different from anything else. The flavour's there. It's a good dram that I can drink all the time. But sometimes you'll just get a sample or a dram, or a bottle, and you just think, man, it's alright. Just alright.
Just like anything else.
But there's nothing else there that inspires me, or there's nothing. This is the thing. I've been thinking about how I do reviews and stuff like that, and think I might try and do it more of a statement rather than anything else. Just like, right, this is the bottle. Yeah, it's alright. I'm not gonna buy it again. Done. I mean, it's gonna make like a 10-second video. Pretty shit for YouTube, but the case of things like Buffalo Trace, I bang on about it quite a lot, but it's a great bourbon. Great bourbon.
Yeah,
and
it is.
I will always mention it. But Aberlour 12, I'll never buy that again, to be honest. It was alright, but nothing to write home about.
No, is that based on what else you can get for the same price?
Yeah, I think
because that's the same way it lines up in my head too.
Yeah.
Which goes back to earlier,
just like the Dalmore. I've been ranting about Dalmore for forever, and I'm going to stop at some point, just not tonight. And it's just it's the same thing. There's just so much other good stuff out there in the same price range. Karisak.
Nice.
Is that the standard or the pro or the
standard? 17 euros from duty free.
Oh. Is it nice, Chris?
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah.
Fruit.
Sweet.
Floral, fruity.
I don't know.
Lovely summer dram.
Cool.
Thanks for watching the review.
Toby, have you been gifted anything that you've had to review badly, or?
Again?
I've had a couple of bottles of whiskey where I've asked for them. So I've been at a tasting and I've asked, can I take that bottle home and do a review of that bottle? And they've just said, yeah, sure, and handed it to me. No questions asked, not expecting. They, in a lot of cases, don't even know who I am. Just handed it to me at the end of an evening. And
something.
yeah, so I could have been anybody.
Did you do that for every bottle of the London Whisky Club?
No.
You're like, Jez, can I take this bottle home?
Jez is normally the one that gives them to me. So yeah, so there's no strings attached. You know, it's you know, I see a bottle, they're just going to either get sort of shared or discarded, or you know, drunk by people. So if you don't ask, you don't get. So it might be nice, might be horrible. So yeah, I've done that a couple of times, but there's not been any strings attached, and I've not been sent anything specifically. I've just asked a couple of times.
Yeah, that's it. I think it's always, you have to ask the questions, because we want to do the distillery. Our very first one. Luckily, it was a good one. We've got a few more coming up, but you've got to ask the questions on the tours. It's just a matter of courtesy, whether we just send kind of a blanket email out asking if we're okay to record if we pay for a tour. Some of them have got back and said, yeah, by all means come. No string attached, and we've paid and gone. So yeah, well, we've paid to go in the future. So it's none of them have really ever.
But don't you also think, Anthony?
Yep.
Don't you think that also depends on the size of the distillery?
Yeah. I think it's just.
We don't expect anything. We're not contacting people saying, "Ooh, we're a YouTube channel. Give it us for free." No, we're just
we're asking if we pay for a tour, can we film?
We are willing to pay for it. Is what
absolutely.
We're saying. Yeah.
I've only had one come back to me where they've said that they want to proof the video before we post it.
Okay.
But that's
Who is that?
Yeah.
Which is
not telling you.
Which is interesting.
Not telling you.
So have you been there yet or not?
One said that we couldn't record in the actual distillery because the camera might set it on fire.
Yeah.
So,
I went to.
Have you heard that one before?
I went to a gin distillery, and the spirit is 96%, so you're not allowed to take any electronic devices in with you. So they have special lockers to put your mobile phone in.
Yeah.
So it's almost like using your mobile phone at a petrol station.
Yeah.
Andrew, that is exactly what they said.
Yeah.
Distilleries, and they don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just.
They obviously don't want you to film inside the workings of their distillery, do they? So.
Absolutely.
They're just not saying that.
Yeah.
You can't change anything.
Rather they did.
Just a big pot.
Yeah.
Well, you could always go in there. You could always go in there and paint the distillery instead, like courtroom drawings.
Yeah. So it's. I think we've got a few distilleries.
That's not going to offend us, is it?
No.
It's about our experience there with the people and what they share, and
we've got there's a distillery called Adnams. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, Adnams. Yeah, they're brewery, aren't they?
Yeah, they've got a new whiskey tour that's opening up later on in the year that we've been invited to be the first people at. So that'll be quite nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going to that. I'd like to try their rye.
Well, when they get in touch with me, I'll get in touch with you and see if they, because it's a new, they do a tour at the moment that's a limited one about whiskey, but they're doing a bigger one that's
blended,
that you go and blend your own whiskies and stuff like that, but they haven't, it doesn't open till later on in the year, but they've asked us if we'll be guinea pigs with it, but I'm sure I could ask if other people could come along with us. So if you're free, I'll let you know more details on that. Let me know. All right.
Yeah.
So, but there are lots of opportunities, and like I say, it's been fairly
accommodating.
No strings attached, to be honest, apart from that one that wanted to watch the video first.
And we were going to do them anyway, so it's not like we said.
Yeah.
We're not asking for freebies.
Yeah, and we've paid for.
Our fair share.
Of them, so it's it doesn't dictate what our review is going to be by any stretch of imagination. I suppose the only negatives our reviews have is that we're coming at it from Newdramdrinkers, so we've never done distilleries before, so just the experience of it is quite new to us, so everything's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you know what I mean, it's all good.
Yeah.
we're enjoying every minute of it because we're learning stuff that we didn't know before. So
everybody's gone big. We've got his Matt's face. What happened
Everybody's loving it.
Why does it change all of a sudden, Chris?
I don't know. It's something to do with your connections.
It's Andrew's fault.
Oh, it's our fault.
Yep, definitely.
No, I think Chris is mashing buttons.
Definitely your fault. Literally nothing to do with me.
He doesn't want to be in the middle anymore, does he?
Oh, now Toby's gone now. What's going on?
Right. You're still on our screen, Toby.
There we go. Right, that's better.
You're back.
I think so. Oh, now you've gone small, Toby. Oh, jeez.
You got this, Chris.
Now Matt's
How much
gone
have you had to
small
drink,
again.
Chris?
Jesus, Matt. Stay still. What all happened when you were smoking?
Special effects.
Oh, so it's your fault.
It's your fault, Matt.
It's always my fault.
Andrew.
The women love it.
Don't.
Yeah, Anthony.
Andrew,
They have someone to blame.
Yeah.
how's your
There we
No
go.
blame.
how's your
Hey,
Infinity
at least
bottle?
audio's alright.
Yeah, I was saying before, it was
Apart from your
turned
bloody
out great.
echo.
And so I'm happy with it so far, and I'm just more so curious to see how it's going to be once I add more to it. So I didn't really have any expectations of how it was going to be, so it was like, yeah, just trying something brand new for the first time. So it was good.
Definitely seems like one that
Virgin.
works better as it airs.
I have to say it's probably one of the first whiskies that I've had that has actually evolved so much while having it open. Other whiskies that I've tried where I've left them sitting for, say, anywhere between 10, 15, 20. There's one that I left for about an hour once, and I didn't really notice that much difference. Where this one, just having it open for about a 20-minute period, it did change the initial flavors, bring out some subtleties that weren't there before, and then they would come back and then go, and then it was like a roller coaster of a tasting experience. It had all these highs and ups and downs. Yeah, it was different. It was good.
But would you say that you could taste the different whiskies knowing what they were that were in it?
Not so much. I wouldn't say that I'd be able to pick them out individually. I mean, if you were just tasting it blind, you would just say that, yeah, okay, that's definitely where, like, for me, because I know, say, for example, that I've got two variations of Lafroig in there, I can pick up that, that the Lafroig notes are dominant in this particular mixture. Where if you were trying it, or say somebody else, you would probably just think that it tastes more like a blend of a Lafroig and a Talisker.
Yeah.
It would just be like a regular blended whiskey for you guys, where I guess for me, knowing what I've got in there, I'm probably picking up on those on those flavors.
What you got planned to do with your Infinity bottle once it's full?
I guess probably just drink it and share it out as it goes.
Yeah. You got many friends that drink whiskey?
Sorry?
You have many friends around you that drink whiskey like you do?
Not really. I mean, I do have like a lot of friends that just like say drink it for the sake of drinking it. I don't have many friends that like drink whiskey because they actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
They would be more the type to drink it just to get drunk type thing.
Yeah.
So that's
Standard
I'll say that
Australian.
again. That was probably one of the one of those habits that we picked up from the English.
I think criminals. Criminals is what you're thinking of. Criminals. We sent there
Are
to
you
get
a
rid
member
of.
of a whiskey? Do you have a lot of whiskey societies over there, Andrew?
There's a few of them. I think especially in Sydney, I think I have looked up a couple of them, but At this stage one, I don't have the time to be able to be a part of them, or I can't afford the memberships and things like that. So again, that's partially the reason why I started doing like the whole Whiskey Tube thing. It's just more so to be able to, I guess, drink with like-minded people, and just to share in the whole experience. But one day I would like to join a group and see how that goes. I mean, there's one whiskey bar that we have in Sydney, and I still haven't, mostly because of work, I just haven't had a chance to go there. I mean, in the 2 years that I've really gotten into drinking whiskey, I've only actually been to one whiskey bar. And there's so many that I would like to be able to go to, and there are more of them coming around. Where it seems like in London or even in Glasgow and other places like that, it seems like there's a lot of, I don't know, it just seems like there's a lot of whiskey bars. Where in Sydney we're a bit limited. But yeah, I'll say I will get a chance to go to them sometime, and spend some time in them.
How about you, Matt? Do you have a community around you that drinks whiskey?
No. I have my good buddy. Whenever he comes over, whenever he comes over, I always have a new bottle to try. Yeah. So we always, just sit around. We have a very similar style in our preferences in whiskeys. But no, where I live, my geographical location, there's not a lot of whiskey. It's in the bigger cities that is.
How far is your biggest city from you?
What?
How far is the biggest city from you?
It's about 20 minutes, but that is not a big city.
It's more like a village.
Yeah, well, there's these, bamboo huts.
Right.
And people are, living in dirt caves.
Rice paddy.
Bamboo in Denmark, really?
Absolutely. Clearly, you have never been.
I've never been, Copenhagen.
No, there's not a lot of whiskey community around me right now. So,
sorry?
So that is, whenever friends is coming over. What?
We've never been invited.
We can hear you, Dave.
Multiple times. In the first chat, in the first live stream you and Nikki had, I said, come to Denmark. My whiskey collection is open to you. Does
that still stand?
Absolutely.
To Nikki, not Dave.
Not Andrew, but you guys.
Likewise here, my friend. Likewise here.
Well, Andrew, actually, speaking of you, I saw you had commented on the blend I did today, right? The Elijah Craig Lafroig blend. Yeah, I'm tasting it right now, actually, in your honor. It needs to settle, more, but it's a weird combination. Peat smoke, Lafroig and Elijah Craig. That is a very, weird, but it's so sweet and barbecuey instead of, medicinal peat smoke. It's actually very good.
Well, that's like a couple of days ago, I had poured myself a glass of the Wild Turkey Long Branch, and I also have here the bottle of the Jack Daniel's Island Green, and I just poured the Johnny Walker, the Johnny Walker Island Green, and I just poured a dash of that into the Long Branch, and that was great. It was just like a very sweet peated. It tasted just like a sweet peated Scotch.
Yeah, they marry great together. Bourbon and peated Scotch.
And just to show how dominant the peat notes could be. I mean, I poured the Long Branch. I poured probably about that much.
Yeah.
Of the glass, and literally just maybe 2 or 3 drops of the Island Green in there.
Yeah, it shows up instantly.
And that was enough for the peat to overwrite a lot of like the spicy notes in the bourbon, and just to draw out that sweetness.
Absolutely. Well, that's the great thing about peat smoked whiskey that you can take a very boring blended Scotch, budget Scotch, and then add a dash of something heavily peated, and then it's just a peated blend.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it shows up instantly. That and rye, I've noticed. The rye also shows up very dominantly in blends.
Toby, do you have a community around you?
Yeah, sort of. I'll mention the London Whisky Club. They're not that local to me, but they're not too far to get to either. Yeah. So they've introduced me to a whole new world of whiskey. You've got people that are very experienced. You've got people with great collections of whiskey, and they're more than willing to share it with you.
Right.
But
you remember, Toby?
Other than that, yeah, I'm a member. Yeah. So I've been a member since February, I think, and I've been to several of their events, and yeah, it's great. And I've also met up with some of the members outside of their whiskey events, and there's always a couple of events a month. The themes are always quite interesting. I think their next one's Buffalo Trace tasting on the 17th of July. But yeah, there's distilleries that brand ambassadors that come and visit, and they're themed. They seem to be quite interesting. Some for beginners, some are for experienced, and other than that, I've got a few friends that are into whiskey. Some are long-time whiskey enthusiasts. Some are new to whiskey, a bit like me. And I think there's probably one whiskey bar in Eastbourne. But other than that, yeah, you have to sort of
I feel
go up to London otherwise.
A meet-up of myself, you and Stephen Davidson.
Yeah.
Be coming along.
Yeah.
Hey, we're a train away from you.
Well, everybody's a train journey.
Yeah, it's easy.
Well, yeah, Stephen is in the chat. I think he's in.
Yeah, we're very close. Yeah, so.
How long does it take to get from Birmingham down to you guys?
4 hours.
Is it? Down a train?
Yeah.
Ain't too bad. Do 2 hours to London regular, so perhaps you could arrange something.
I think.
Or we could all meet in London.
I mean, a London meetup
is
a good idea.
Probably a better option.
I'll meet
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
We're meeting with.
How about that, Andrew?
Is it?
I'll be there tomorrow.
Get on that Qantas flight.
Yeah. I'm just gonna have to do like one of Goku from Dragon Ball Z's instant transmission, and I'll be there in a flash.
Nobody else knows about that.
Yeah, we're too old.
We could do this.
Yeah.
It's not working.
But that could be aimed at a certain individual.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about, Andrew?
What's that?
What's that, really? Really?
No. It was a joke. Come on, calm down.
Dragon's Ballsy, really? Like when I was
Dragon
about
Ball
12.
We are old.
It's like,
They must be old because Nicky's referring it to Dragon's Balls.
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Balls. We're like, I can't believe we're the OAPs of the group.
No, I am the OAP.
Yeah.
Come on, Chris.
Not
Sorry.
bad.
I look good for an OAP though, don't I? Is that middle-aged? Middle-aged, not old.
No, middle-aged.
Middle-aged.
Compared to these lot.
Middle-aged.
These are whippersnappers.
Yeah, middle-aged. Yeah, and I'll keep up with you.
Where's Andrew
boys.
gone
I
now?
don't know.
I'll keep up
I
with
think that's a picture of his.
His feet
Andrew, it's a
improved
live stream,
dramatically.
mate. You can't just disappear.
I'm pretty sure.
What's he doing?
I'm pretty sure I can green screen. So that orange weird screen, I'm pretty sure I could like make different background. That'd be really cool.
Oh, there's
Just
a lot of opportunities there.
There
Oh,
you
he's
go,
got the
Chris.
fusion t-shirt on. Cool. Yeah.
Tell you what, fellas, we've the chat going well.
Yeah, that's going well.
We've done quite well.
I think I'm going to call it, to be honest. That's a
2
bit
hours.
Yeah, that's
weird.
fine.
I mean,
It's
we've been
midnight
going
here
in
as
2 hours. That's
That's
a
bad, is
good
it?
chat. Obviously,
Sunday night, isn't it?
you guys are going to talk to us. Live stream's gone, but I think a massive shout out for these guys in the chat for watching.
Yeah.
Ephead, thank you very much. Gregoire, thank you very much. Mark Slinger, wonderful man of Glendronach, who I will always think of. Glendronach, for some reason. Some guy called Newdramdrinker. He's Jez, thank you very much for watching.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Thanks, Jez.
Some guy.
Right, girls. Well, it's not drinkers, is it? Maybe you should change that, really, shouldn't you? Huh? Newdramdrinker.
He's already got his clothing line designed.
Yeah.
Now he's got to
He's
redesign.
wearing merch, not you.
Let me just go and get my soapbox.
Actually, I've got to put a question to Toby. Now that you've experienced Anthony, will you be back?
At least I've been
Toby, I'm gonna ask you now that you have experienced Andrew.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Would you vote on
live,
taking him off
any
the
live
team?
stream without Andrew? Yeah, that's fine.
Fantastic, Toby. You're welcome.
So, Chris, you are about to wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm wrapping it up. Thank you for everybody in the chat. Multi-Haggis Muncher, great to see you as well. Andy C earlier, I believe. Party Sauce as well at the beginning. Thank you very much for being in it. I don't know whether you'll watch it back, but thank you. Brilliant, thank you very much. Thomas McCroy, you're a new name. Thanks very much. And yeah, that'll do, I think. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to start an infinity bottle, apparently.
You are?
Absolutely.
Too right.
Because I've pretty much done most of this Glen Alecky.
Oh, you're going to keep going on about that bottle? Is that the one that Ralphie gave you?
Yeah, do you want to see it again? There, Ralph.
Don't forget to leave some of that in there.
God.
Yeah. We want to
I'll
try that
leave
when we
that
come
in.
round
You leave some in there to
I might have
start
another
it.
dram off live, but yeah. Thanks very much, everyone. Really appreciate it. And everybody else that watches it on the replay, thank you very much. Please hit that subscribe button to myself, Newdramdrinker, to Whisky Shared, to Caskmate, even though he's not going to do any content, and PrestigeliquidsWW. Please hit that subscribe.
Check out the blog on Facebook instead.
Painting and Drinking, hit the subscribe button to that instead. Thanks very much, everyone, and